Hey everybody, this is Trailhound, and today I'm going to be making an oil lamp for when I'm on the trail. I had one of these that I made a video on before, and it was made mostly out of plastic, so the fact of the matter is it wasn't meant to hold up for a long period of time to the heat, and I did have some problems with it leaking after a while. So what I'm trying here is a much more simple design that I found on the internet, and I'm just going to go over that with you guys real quick. I have a standard baby food glass jar with a lid, some fiberglass wicking. This was actually the sealer for around the fireplace door, 3/4 inch, and what I do is just separate that down into the single unbraided strands, and then I braid it myself. So I have here probably not quite 2 feet, just a little shy of 2 foot of braided fiberglass, and what I'll be doing is just cutting that off. So I'll have that right here. This will be my wick, and I have here a piece of 14 gauge stainless steel wire. This is actually for hanging pipes. It's pipe hanging wire. That's why it's stainless steel. It won't rust. So it's going to hold up well for me. Anyway, it's real simple. I'm just going to basically, I'll just show you this quick. Hopefully it won't take too long. Don't want to have a real long video here. I'm going to wrap it around the jar. I'm going to fold it in on itself here to the center, and then up at a 90-degree angle, straight up. Okay, and that's just going to sit. I'll fold that up, push it down into the jar there, and of course you'll see it's going to stick straight up. I don't want it to come up past the very top of the jar, so I'm going to go ahead and chop it off right before where the lid would be. And what I'm going to do now is take the rest of this wick will just coil up down inside of there, and I'll end up hooking on, weaving these two pieces up onto the end here. Weave this piece of steel up through these, and that'll be my wick, and I'll just fill it up, and I'll be able to cap it off, and it'll be completely sealed. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to turn the camera back on. Okay, so I got the lamp all made up here. I got my wire in there, and I've got a fiberglass wick weaved up through the center rod just to hold it up, and the knot is basically pushed halfway into the top of that piece of wire. I didn't need all the 2 foot that I made. I ended up only using about half of that, so I had enough left over to make a spare wick and a little bit for some other project later on, who knows what. Anyway, this is it. I'm going to crack it open here and fire it up, and we're just going to take a look at what you can expect if you were in your a shelter on a trail, or in your tent. You know what I mean? That's gonna provide you with plenty of light. And as a matter of fact, it's got me curious as to whether or not you could cook with it. I mean, it almost looks to me like with a pot stand, you might just be able to boil some water with that thing. So there's a test coming up for that in the near future here for sure. So oil lamp, there you go. You know, $5 half gallon of oil at Walmart, piece of wire, baby food jar, and some fiberglass wicking. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for subscribing, and I'll check you guys later. Alright, one more thing I wanted to show you. I made a little modification yet. I took a antenna. This was a piece of old radio antenna, and just cut it down with the standard pipe cutter, and I slid it down over the wicking and the wire so that it would restrict the amount of exposed wick that would burn as the fuel burned down, and also maybe help cut down on the amount of soot and smoke that came off there. So that's the latest little modification. It was just adding that piece. So hopefully I may not have to replace the wick at all now, because it's just not going to be exposed the way it would have before. So that's the latest update, and as you can see, I mean, it still puts off a great flame just like that. So we'll see you guys when I get a boil test going.